You work late into the night, you work on the weekend, you cancel plans because the goals are too big to ignore. You've done this for months, maybe years, and the success you actually deserve is still nowhere in sight. Here's why. Your brain loves to feel stuck. Every time you're about to break through, something quietly pulls you back, and you don't even notice it happening. It's not your effort, it's not the market. It's a system running underneath you that was never built to make you rich. It was built to keep you exactly where you are. Once you see how it works, the struggle stops, and you can make 10 years of progress in the next 10 months. You already know what you should be doing. The boring move, the slow compounding thing, the one that actually works. You've read it 100 times, and somehow you keep not doing it. You start something, get a little traction, and then it resets. A purchase you didn't plan. A new idea that pulls you off the old one. A month that disappears with nothing to show for it. That's not a willpower problem. It's happening on purpose. You just haven't been shown whose purpose. There is a gap between something happening and you reacting to it. A price drops on something you've been watching. A guy your age posts the number he made last month. A lifestyle scrolls past that looks like the one you were supposed to have by now. Something moves in your chest. That gap between the trigger and your reaction is about a quarter of a second. And in that quarter second, the decision is already made, not by the part of you that read the books, by something older and faster that got there first. The entire financial world, the ads, the gurus, the platforms, has figured out how to live inside that quarter second. That's the war, and almost nobody knows it's being fought. Robert Sapolsky spent decades studying status and stress, first in baboons, then in people. What he found is uncomfortable. The gap between the two is smaller than we'd like. In every hierarchy he studied, the individuals who felt low status showed higher stress hormones, worse decision-making, and shorter time horizons. The biology didn't care whether the threat was real. It responded to the feeling of falling behind. Your brain runs the same software, and it can't tell the difference between losing rank in a troop and watching someone your age post about their new business. So when that feeling hits, the one that makes you click, research, almost buy, that's not ambition. That's a threat response. Your nervous system reacting to perceived status loss exactly the way it would react to a predator. The people selling to, you know this. They aren't selling products. They're triggering the threat, then offering themselves as the thing that makes it stop. The upgrade you don't need. The course from the guy who looks like you, wish you looked. The opportunity that lands in your feed, right as you're feeling behind. That's not marketing finding you. That's marketing finding the quarter second. Here's the part that's harder to hear. If it were only outside forces, you'd have broken through by now. There's a second mechanism, and it's inside you. Somewhere along the way, being stuck became part of who you are. The struggle gave you an identity, a story, a reason, and a part of you needs it, because if the problem ever actually got solved, you wouldn't know who you are without it. So you self-correct. You get close to a breakthrough, and you find a new problem to chase. You make the money, and you spend it back down to where you started. You learn the thing, and you don't do the thing. Every time the gap between where you are and where you could be starts to close, something quietly widens it again. This is why working harder makes it worse. The harder you grind on yourself, the more the struggle becomes the identity. You're not failing to escape. You're maintaining the thing you secretly rely on. Most people never see this because it's invisible from the inside. It just feels like bad luck, or bad timing, or one more thing that didn't work out. The people who get out are not tougher than you. They don't have more willpower. They figured out one specific thing. They got the quarter second back. They built a pause between the trigger and the move, a rule, a waiting period, a simple, I don't decide money things on the day I feel them. It sounds small. It's the whole game. Because in that pause, the slow part of your brain finally catches up to the fast part. The threat response fires, and instead of acting on it, you watch it fire. And the moment you can watch it, it stops running you. The boring move that actually builds wealth never triggers any of this. There's nothing to post, no rush, no countdown timer, which is exactly why your nervous system doesn't want to do it and exactly why it works. So the real signal flips. High urgency, high emotion, easy action. That's almost always someone living in your quarter second. Real opportunity is usually quiet. It doesn't need you today. You've been in a war the whole time. You just didn't know where the front line was. It's not your income. It's not what you know. It's that quarter second between the trigger and the reaction. And the part of you that has quietly decided staying stuck is safer than breaking free. Every reset, every impulse buy, every pivot away from the thing that was working, those weren't failures of intelligence. They were a threat response doing its job and an identity protecting itself. Now you can see both. And the moment you can see it, you get slower. The gap gets longer, and longer gaps compound. Every time you pause and choose instead of react, choosing gets a little more automatic, until one day it's just who you are. You don't need to become a different person. You need a quarter second back. That's further than almost anyone around you will ever get. If you're looking for the boring, quiet kind of opportunity I described, the one that builds while nobody's watching, I've left something in the description worth a look. It's an AI-based income model, no face required, set up for you in about a day. Not for everyone, but it's one of the few I've seen that's built to remove the bottleneck before you start, instead of after you're already stuck.